How you guys doing? This is Incomplete the Poet. Today we are going to write a poem together. And I have a lot of thoughts on what I wanted the poem to be about, but I wanted to brainstorm from a fresh perspective. We have Dr. King National Holiday coming up. We got Black History Month. We also have Trump and his scandal. I have my personal life. I know you have some things that's going on in your life as well. So the question is, how do we just sit down and write a piece? Now, normally what I do, I just start writing. I don't filter myself. I don't stop myself. Wherever it goes, it goes. And then after I finish that poem, I go back and I clean it up a little bit. Um, I may substitute words. I may find a better substitution of words to better express what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I come up with the name of the poem after I have already written the poem. But this time, I'm going to go ahead and come up with the name of the poem right now. So we are going to talk about, man, we're going to talk about, let's see, what can we talk about? Um, let's talk about failure not being an option. We're going to talk about failure not being an option. We have to succeed by all means, so failure isn't an option. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with a title. Okay. I don't like that. Um, we can call it by any means. I like that. By any means. So we're starting off. The name of the poem is By Any Means. We talk about failure isn't an option. You have to succeed no matter what. So let's work on the first stanza. The first stanza, that first line has to be a doozy. That first line has to smack the audience into submission to the point where they have no other choice but to listen to you. So that first line has to be strong. The name of the poem is By Any Means. Okay. So let's start off by saying, that first line, man. Once I get that first line, then the rest of it is going to flow. But like I said, that first line has to be a champion. Okay. I live behind it. And more than likely, this poem won't rhyme, but the flow is going to be on point. I live behind enemy lines. live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. By any means, I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I live behind enemy lines. And what that line means is that, I live in a hostile environment. As a black man, I live in a hostile environment. I'm a casualty of life. When you think of casualties, it's people who have died for the sake of whatever is going on. I live behind enemy lines. I'm a casualty of life. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general, a general, a general. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny. A general of my destiny. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny. By any means. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny. A general of my destiny. And yet the enemy. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. The enemy of me. So what that means is, I live behind enemy lines. I live in a hostile environment, a casualty of life. I'm constantly dying to myself. I'm a soldier of one. I'm always gonna be on guard. I'm a general of my destiny. I control my destiny, and yet the enemy of me, I'm my own worst enemy. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. And he said the enemy, they say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They say, enemy of my enemy is my friend. All right. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend. So why am I the fool? They say enemy of my enemy is my friend. So why am I the fool? I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. They say the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the fool? Okay. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. They say enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to, I want to rise to the occasion. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, yet the enemy of me. They say I'm an enemy. They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the fool? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. They say enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. Career suicide is painful like a self-inflicted wound. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. Okay. By any means. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. They say an enemy of my enemy is of my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. And no, I'm not suicidal. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. No, I'm not suicidal. It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. No, I'm not suicidal. They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound, and no, I'm not suicidal. No, I'm not suicidal. I just get lost in the tomb. They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's like a pain. It's like a pain. It's it's painful, like a self-inflicted wound. No, I'm not suicidal. I just get lost in the tune. The sound in my head that bleeds into my soul. I can't turn down the volume of life. I can't turn down. I can't turn down the volume of life. Well, that's what I'm told. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. By any means. I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, yet the enemy of me. They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. No, I'm not suicidal. I just get lost in the tune, the sound in my head that bleeds into my soul. I can't turn down the volume of life. Well, that's what I'm told. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. Some call it a shadow grave. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. Some may call it a shadow grave. Success has me in bondage. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. Some may call it a shadow grave. Success has me in bondage. If you ask me, it's just a slave. Success has me in bondage. If you ask me, so I find myself digging my own foxhole. Some call it a shadow grave. Success has me in bondage. If you ask me, I'm still a slave. The Kunta in me, the Kunta in me. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. Some may call it a shadow grave. Success has me in bondage. If you ask me, I'm still a slave. The Kunta in me, the Kunta in me refuse to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. I live in, I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, yet the enemy of me. They say enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound, and no, I'm not suicidal. I just get lost in the tune, the sounds in my head that bleeds into my soul. I can't turn down the volume of life. Well, that's what I'm told. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. Some call it a shadow grave. Success has me in bondage. If you ask me, I'm still a slave. The Kunta and me refuse to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. The Kunta and me refuse to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. The Kunta and me refuse to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. So I found myself digging my own foxhole. Some call it a shadow grave. This has me in bondage. If you ask me, I'm still a slave. The Kunta and me refuse to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. So what's my name, you may ask? And that is the end. I love it. I love it. By any means. Okay? So this poem, by any means, is talking about something personal to me. At one point in my life, I was terrified of success. I've been told all my life as an adolescent, as a teenager, I wouldn't amount to anything. Because you have to understand, um, I didn't live a regular life. I was diagnosed with brain cancer at age 3, and people really wrote me off. You know, um, they thought I would be on my mother's hip till death. You know, and I found my independence, but it took some time. I didn't find I didn't find who I was until probably about 29, 30 years old. So for all that time, the echoes in my head of not adding up to other people or not amounting to the level of success that they thought I should be at. So being told that I wouldn't amount to, you know, and fast forward, I would self sabotage myself. So when I find myself doing good in life, I would quit a perfectly good job because I don't deserve that job. Based on what I've been told in the past, I don't deserve that job. This is going too good. And even when I was in school, when I found myself on the dean list or on honor roll, I would not study. I would not prepare for tests because A's is beneath me. So this poem really means a lot to me. So I'm gonna try to read it um, in a sense of someone who has made it, in which I have made it, and now this is my attempt to reach back and bring other people with me by sharing with them my story. Now, when I present the poem, I won't tell them that this is my story. This is just a poem, and people can take it as they hear it, and they can do with it what they may. So, by any means, I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the fool? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does it sense hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. No, I'm not suicidal. I just get lost in a tune. The sounds in my head that bleeds into my soul. I can't turn down the volume of life. Well, that's what I'm told. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. Some may call it a shallow grave. Success has me in bondage. If you ask me, I'm still a slave. The Kunta in me refused to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. So what's my name? You may ask. And I tell my own self, give us free. Well, I want to thank you guys for bearing with me. Been 30 minutes, you know, a wonderful poem to write in 30 minutes. Um, I do enjoy it, and 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 I will go back and I will kind of change some lines. I will add some words, but this is the foundation. This poem is the foundation, and I want to make sure that every stanza has its own address. So, um, let me go through each stanza right quick, right? So, I live behind enemy lines, a casualty of life. I'm a soldier of one, a general, my destiny. Okay, let me ask you, a general of my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. So, as I said before, I live behind enemy lines means that I live in a hostile environment, just being black in America. A casualty of life means that I die to self on a daily basis for whatever reason. I'm a soldier of one. I'm always be on guard. A general of my destiny. That's like one of the highest positions a person can have in the military is a general. Okay, so a general of my destiny. I control my destiny, and yet the enemy of me. Then, once again, I was afraid of success. They said, enemy of my enemy is my friend. They said, keep your friends close and your enemy closer, right? So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I gotta keep me. I gotta get to know me. So why am I the foe? I already said it in the previous stanza. And yet the enemy of me. So that's why I'm the foe, because I'm the enemy of me. Well, I'm quick to self-sabotage, and that's all about being afraid of success, right? Why? I don't know. At that time, I didn't understand why it was that I self-sabotaged myself. I am who I am ever since birth. That's all I knew. You know what I'm saying? Based on how people talk to me, how they spoke into my life, negativity. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion. I don't want to be this way. I want to rise to the occasion. But why does success hurt? Every time I grab hold of success, it feels like I don't belong there. So why does success hurt? It's painful, like a self-inflicted wound. Like I did this to myself. It comes a point where, as an individual, you have to hold yourself accountable. And you have to tell yourself no more. I'm not going to live or climb on the back of negativity no more. I'm not going to allow those words to affect me anymore. The way people spoke to me as a child, as a teenager, telling me I wouldn't amount to anything, I rebuke those words. So that's what is painful, like a self-inflicted wound, because I allow those wounds, I allow those words to penetrate my soul. No, I'm not suicidal. I just get lost in the tune. I get lost in those words, the sounds in my head. Replaying those words. You won't amount to anything. You know, you never be anything in life. The sounds in my head that bleeds into my soul. It became who I was. I can't turn down the volume of life. Those words are so loud in my head that it's all I hear. I can't turn down the volume of life. Well, that's what I'm told. Because no matter how much I try to turn down the volume of life, I can't. So I find myself digging my own foxhole. A foxhole is a hole that you dig to shield yourself from oncoming missiles or gunfire or the enemy. A foxhole is the hole you dig to shield yourself, to protect yourself. But some people who know me would call it a shadow grave. Is he digging a foxhole or is he digging his grave? Success has me in bondage. To be in bondage is to be held captive. How can you be successful and still feel like an enemy? How can you be successful and still be in bondage? That's what was going on. That was the conflict I was dealing with. If you ask me, I'm still a slave. Success has such a negative connotation to me that I feel that I'm enslaved to it. It's not where I want to be. Okay? The Kunta in me refused to renege. The Kunta, okay, Kunta is a Roots reference. Roots is a PBS um, mini series on slavery, on the beginning of slavery. And Kunta was the key character who was enslaved. And everyone championed Kunta until he got caught by the master. And the master tried to break him. Kunta was his African name, but the slave owner gave him a different name. And the name that the slave owner gave him was Toby. And the slave owner would beat Kunta until he responded to his slave name, which was Toby. And when he finally responded after 10-15 minutes of being whipped and slashed, when he finally responded, the master asked him, "What's your name?" When he first started beating Kunta, Kunta would say, "My name is Kunta." He would beat him more. "What's your name, boy?" "It's Kunta." He beat him more. "What's your name, boy?" "It's Kunta." And Kunta endured those beatings for about 15 minutes. And finally, the master asked him one final time, "What's your name, boy?" And that's when Kunta's spirit was broke. And he said, "My name is Toby." Okay? So that's what that line comes from. The Kunta in me refused to renege, refused to give up, refused to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. That's such a beautiful line. I love that line. The Kunta in me refused to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. Which means I can't be what society tells me to be. I have to be who I am. And I'm always going to be a Kunta. No matter how many times I get beat, no matter how many times success falls on me, no matter how many times I find myself self-sabotaging myself, I'm going to always be a Kunta. The Kunta in me refused to renege to the Toby life wants me to be. So I ask the question, so what's my name? You may ask. And I tell my own self, it's me talking to me now. I tell my own self, give us free. Man, that's a beautiful poem. That's a beautiful poem. I love it. I wrote it in about 30 minutes. It's the longest poem that it takes for me to write. Normally I can write a poem faster than that, but it's cool. It's okay. I want to thank you guys for being with me. You see my process on how to write a poem, and you've seen me brainstorming. You heard me brainstorming. Um, you kind of see how I write, and I know you may be looking at the stanzas, and not all the stanzas are equal, because this stanza has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. This stanza has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. Now I can always break that up into 4 and 4, but this right here, from here to here, that is a moment in time, and we don't want to break up that moment in time. They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend, so why am I the foe? Yeah, I'm quick to self-sabotage. Why? I don't know. I want to make I want to put 3 dots there so I know to break. Why? I don't know. I am who I am ever since birth. I want to rise to the occasion, but why does success hurt? It's painful like a self-inflicted wound. Okay, so that is one moment. Okay, and then we go back to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we go back to our 5 stanzas. You know, and then we end up with 4 stanzas here, and then we end up with 5 at the end. So I want to thank you guys again for going with me to this journey. Do you think the name, by any means, do you think the name represents the poem? Do you think the name is a reflection of the poem by any means? Because by any means, I do want to overcome. I want individuals to overcome. I want people to overcome by any means. And this is the opportunity by sharing this that they can overcome. Um, Once again, it's Incomplete the Poet. If you have any ideas or if you have any lines that you would like to add to the poem, please by all means comment below. And when I finish editing the poem, if I use your line, then I will give you credit as writer as well. So thank you once again for enduring me. By any means, we wrote this poem together. So you've seen my process. You've seen how I think. You've seen how I brainstorm. So I look forward to you writing a poem and sharing it with me. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. You know, we right there on the cuff of 600 subscribers. So I look forward to you subscribing. I look forward to you pressing the notification button because I'm going to be writing more poems like this. Some may be longer, some may be shorter. You know, and also subscribe, notification, and give me the thumbs up. So until I post again, you have a blessed day. I look forward to reading your comments.